Magical Thinking Barbie. I wanted to do a video today that goes along with the disruption video that I did yesterday, and just helping us kind of realize where we've come as far as like full circle with trying to deal with injustice from back in the day. I'm 44. So, I've seen a little bit of the evolution of trying to deal with injustice, like racism, sexism, homophobia, able-bodied people, or, some people say handicapped. I don't think that's the right word. But, so I've seen like this metamorphosis of us try to figure out how we can be just within a system that is hierarchical. That's really not about justice. It's about, if you're making the most money, you must be really winning in some way. You don't really see, people saying, "Oh, wow, you're homeless? You're winning." You don't see people saying that, even though it's interesting. I think in the Bible, the meek shall inherit the earth, and there's something to be said about, not flaunting money and that sort of thing. So, the thought that came to me is work, school. These are not places that we are going to figure out how to be more just. I don't know that when you go to a college and get into a bunch of debt to learn and expand your mind, that's the place where you're going to learn about justice and to be more fair, in your future job. I just don't see it, because everything has been polluted by this type of capitalism. I say type, just to kind of give some leeway, excuse me, I'm getting over a cold, to maybe some people who have like some amazing way that capitalism can work. I don't see it happening, because it's about taking resources out of the earth that we just can't do anymore, And now it should be pretty evident to us that we cannot live on the earth as inefficiently as we have been living, that we have just been taking so much from the earth. So it should be pretty evident. I was thinking just years ago when I was in 7th grade, and I remember going to an environmentalist gathering at my junior high, and and them talking about how dangerous the situation that we're in. And back then there was a big flood that happened in this area, but you really didn't see it like you see it now. And the thing is, with the younger people, they are some of them are thinking that this is normal. Like, it's normal to have like basically a drought and then a flood within the same year in the same area. It's normal to have shootings having to do with, hatred because of the class structure is becoming so stressed. And, the haves and have-nots have been, it's stretched. They're used to going to the neighboring state and seeing people live relatively well, and just drive over a bridge and see people that it's like, wait, are we still in the United States? This is happening, 20 miles away from where I lived in this state? Really? That's what's happening? Some people think that that's normal. They don't see the decay because they've lived in it, since when they were able to cognate what's going on. They're like, oh, okay, this is the new normal. But no, that's not the new normal. You don't just, Oh, this is our new slavery. And that's what it reminds me of. People are like, well, I guess we're just going to have to deal with the fact that we're going to have, trillionaires, and we're going to be making $9 an hour. We're just going to have to deal with it, instead of putting in that effort together and being like, no, we don't. We can just stop this. Because that's really what you can do, The other thing is, the slogan within the military was, yours is to do and die, not to reason why. Like, I'm still, shocked that people bought into that. Like, wait, you're literally not supposed to reason why. When you join the military, you're just supposed to do and die. Like, that in itself, these are all hearkening back to that slave mentality, that slave structure that was from the beginning. So when you start seeing all the ways that we're getting conned, maybe then you can start being like, oh, okay, yeah, no, this is not going to work anymore. I mean, it's almost like, I do see the awakening. I do see it. But it's almost like, I don't know what we were doing. Were we just literally not thinking? Who says to themselves, oh, that sounds like a great deal. I'm going to be able to get into college with that idea. I'm just going to go and die. That's awesome. I'm going to do that. Why? Because then maybe I'll get into college? But what? No. And that is not the America, believe it or not, that the forefathers were thinking. They were escaping that type of mentality. However, it's like it just followed them. They still had that mentality, and they're like, oh, wait, let's oppress these black people. Let's go to Africa constantly. No other country. Let's just keep going into there and taking people out for slaves. That mentality just stayed with them, instead of the mentality of, you can do whatever the hell you want to do. If you want to stand on your head for hours a day, do what you want to do. Why? Because we're all individuals. We're all ourselves. If this nation was really about individualism, don't you think we would have so many different types of way of dress, creative viewpoints on so many things? It's not even built on that. So these are just some of the thoughts, that come to my mind when people try to say okay, yeah, we're going to figure this out when we go to college. We're going to figure out a better life, and it's going to cost several $1,000s for us to figure out this better life for all of us. We're so smart. And we're going to, at this job, we're going to figure that out too, and just make sure you get your 40 hours in. And we're going to figure out how we're all going to be one beautiful rainbow nation while we're slaving away. I mean, it doesn't make sense.